Am I the a-hole for leaving my date at a bar? I went on a date with a girl Sunday. Let's say her name is Mandy. I've met Mandy several times through my friend's girlfriend, Sarah. Mandy always seemed nice and fun to talk to, so I asked her to hang out Sunday. I knew she liked football because she's been by my friend's house for games several times, so I asked her to come to watch the game. We went to a sports bar for dinner. What? Okay, I guess if you're with friends. The plan was to watch the game, have some drinks, and maybe play pool. Oh, so it's like a casual date. That sounds fun. I don't think that's a good first date. Unless that's your thing, unless like you're really American and into football sports, American football. I was literally showing my sweetheart rugby yesterday. So this is not my sport. I like the really rough sports, MMA, things like that. I picked her up Sunday. We got to the bar and Mandy said that her friend was sitting there at a table with some other people. She went and said hi. We sat at the bar and ate. Then she asked if it was cool if we went and sat by them. I didn't really want to, but agreed. We went over there and she introduced me. That was basically it. From then on, I felt like a third wheel. Yikes. I tried to talk about football with some of the other people, but they did not watch sports. I tried starting a conversation about other stuff with one of the guys, and it didn't seem like it was going anywhere. So I sat and watched the game while Mandy talked to her friends. Okay, it already sounds like she's not interested in you, so I would just leave at this point. Time passed and the game was almost over, so I told Mandy I was probably going to head out after. She said, "Oh, come on, one more drink, then we'll go." Okay, fine. Then her friends started buying rounds of shots for each other. Not me, understandable. They don't know me. Besides, I was driving. We like a responsible man here. That's a gentleman. I finished my soda and told Mandy I was going to go because I worked in the morning. Oh, I really like this guy. He asked you on a date. He's being a responsible driver and he has things to do in the morning. And he also wants to actually get to know you, not just ditch you with your friends. She got a confused look and looked at her beer, then the time, then her friends, and said, "Oh, well, I didn't finish my drink yet." I said, "Well, I'm leaving. I can give you a ride home if you want." She said, "Okay, let me finish my drink." I said, "Okay," and sat down. Then she started screwing around with her friends again, going outside with them, playing darts, not drinking her drink. I said, "Mandy, I'm leaving." She didn't acknowledge me bye, so I left. Yesterday after work, Sarah called and yelled at, ooh, red flag, yelled at me about leaving Mandy stranded. She said when you drive someone somewhere, you take them home too. That she didn't know I was such a to leave. I think you can say jackass. I was such a jackass to leave a girl at a bar alone that Mandy didn't even know I left till she seen my jacket was gone. And apparently, Mandy had to lift home and I should reimburse her. I explained my side and said, "So what? She was having fun? You should have joined instead of sitting around moping." I feel like I already tried to get into the conversation and join the group. It just wasn't working. I didn't feel like sitting there bored forever. Her friends were there. It's not like she was alone. Am I the a-hole for leaving? No, you're not. It says you're dubbed not the a-hole here, by the way. I think that you were a perfect gentleman. You did everything you can do. You communicated on the date properly. She was not being very gallant when she just ditched you for her friends and said, "Hey, my friends are there. Can we sit there?" That's also a thing about dates. If you want to get to know someone, get to know them naturally, organically, especially around their friends to see how they act. And you will see that they will include you. And I think that's not good to see friends on a first date because it can be and it can't. It's a double edged sword, in my opinion, because your friends might sway your opinion of them instead of actually getting to know the person. I've been in a lot of relationships where my friends don't see eye to eye with this person. I have a really unique taste. I see the person for who they are. When my friends roll around, they don't see it initially, but they'll spend more time with the person and think, "Oh, they're not so bad. They're actually really cool." When you're on a first date, don't invite friends. I highly recommend not inviting friends unless you already know all the friends together. You are acquainted with everyone, so you don't feel left out. It's not awkward, and they don't have private jokes in front of you where you feel excluded. You never want to exclude anyone. You want to make everyone feel like they are holding equal weight, equal value when you have a conversation with them, making eye contact with them whenever you're out. This lady was incorrect 1000% because she didn't make people feel comfortable, especially her date who was taking her out. In this case, he will be the priority. And if the date finished, she could have said, "I'm going to go see my friends. I'm going to stay here. These girls are my girls. We're going to go play some darts. You can stay and join us if you want to," and invite him and genuinely include him, not just kind of ignore him and she's being a child with her friends and "I want to hang out with my friends." Do that another time, not on a date. Let's see what people say. Not the a-hole. You told her a couple times that you were leaving and offered her a ride. If she wanted a ride, she needed to wrap it up and head out when you left. She did not do that. I wholeheartedly agree. If someone offers you a ride, I think they're going above and beyond in this day and age to make sure that you're home okay. And this person sounds like a genuine, perfect gentleman. My friends who are in our friend group, the guys will offer the girls an Uber or a Lyft home just to make sure that we get home okay. They say, pick up your car tomorrow. You drank a bit. These are just friends. The worst case scenario happened here, which is she ditched you for her friends, especially on a date. Also, I just would not take her to this type of place for a first date. This is the kind of girl that you're dating in the first place. I guess people like this. I'm trying to think. When my girlfriends and I go watch sports, we're usually dressed up and it's a different type of sport. It's usually outdoors. It's usually during social season and it's an event. It's not just going to watch the sport on a TV, but everyone's different. I don't understand this. I'm genuinely trying to wrap my mind around why this person is like this. This is an easy one though. Let me know what you think in the comments below. What you would have done, how would you have talked to this girl? I would have been a bit shorter with her and been more to the point, but in a very kind way. So I would say, I'm gonna leave if you're not at the car in 5 minutes. If we're friends, if we're on a date, I really gotta go. Like, I really gotta go now. In 2 minutes, I would make the time shorter and shorter and press them, because if you have a limit, you gotta set that boundary. Other people have to respect it. If they don't, that's their problem. They shouldn't yell at you. I think it's a red flag when people call you just to yell at you. I think it's a red flag when people yell at you, period. She could have just not have texted him and said, I wasn't interested on that date. Or how about see you never, in a polite way. See you never would be, I don't think this is gonna work out. I think you're lovely, but I'm just gonna go home with my friends. Or she could say, I'm staying with my friends a little bit longer. I'll see you next time. It could have been as simple as that, but she didn't communicate that because I don't know what she wanted. She just wanted a guy to be there and wait around for her while she's with her friends. Are you asking for a babysitter? You can get a ride on your own. And I hate when people make you reimburse things because of their fault. That's crazy to me, and that's a huge red flag. You dodged a bullet. If you want more content like this, subscribe, click the bell, tell all your friends, watch this several thousand times. If you want more etiquette and a deeper dive into how to treat people well, strengthen your relationships, personal to yourself with self-respect and professional, visit dixonetiquette.com. It's my etiquette course, and I am in the midst of giving it a facelift right now. So get it with the dirt cheap price that it has. Get that locked in, and you'll have access to the new and improved version as we're working on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.